Well, welcome. How are you doing? I thought as we're in this Lenten season that it might be time to take a look at the direction our life arrow is going. Now, what do I mean by that? Well, I've sat down with a number of people in business to create what I've called their life priority arrow. And it consists of all these different things that are pulling their lives in different directions, some with a lot more force than others, and actually some taking them in the wrong direction. But the idea is to really take an assessment and figure out what it is that drives our lives. Because our lives are a little bit like a dog sled team. If our life is the dog sled, the things that pull our life are all those dogs. And those dogs need to be pulling in the right direction, the same direction, so we get to the right destination, the correct destination. Now, I don't know if you know this, but you have to have the right lead dog in a dog sled team in the front position. And if you don't, the team does not function very well. So, what do? You put your dogs in a line, and sooner or later, you're going to find out that if the alpha dog is in the wrong place, if he or she is not leading that sled, then she just nips at the dog in front of it. He starts barking and trying to fight with the dog next to it. And slowly but surely, that dog sled leader actually moves his dog or her dog forward until it's in the right place. So even in our life arrows, we need to decide what's the tip of that arrow. What's the tip? What is the one thing, the singular priority thing that's leading all the other drivers in our life? Like our family, like our kids, like the work that we do, maybe recreation, maybe working out. But there's other things that maybe can't be aligned in one direction that kind of take us in another towards another destination. Like lust, like pride, like anger, bitterness. I mean, there are things that we value that are in our life that drive our life that just don't take us to the right place that we want to end up. So, what's in your life priority arrow? And what's at the tip of the arrow? It's not going to surprise you that God claims the tip of the arrow. And he claims it in two ways. He claims it for himself as a person. He wants us to love him, listen to this, with all of our hearts, with all of our soul, with all of our mind, and with all of our strength. It's a four-dimensional love. It's an all-encompassing love. And it needs time to really just sit down and think about what each of those means and what it looks like and what's left to love other people with if we love God with our all. Well, we find out that actually we're able to love others completely and infinitely once we have God as our singular priority as a person. But there's a second tip to that arrow, and that's God's plan. God said, pursue first. Before you think about pursuing anything, pursue my kingdom and my righteousness. My kingdom is God's global plan. How do you pursue God's global plan with what you do at work every day, with what you do as a spouse, as a parent, as a neighbor, as a person at your church? And then second, his righteousness. That's God's personal plan for you, that you would surrender your life to him so that he would indeed be the tip of your life priority arrow. Well, listen, I hope that as you take time during Lent to consider things as we aim towards this amazing place in the faith of Christianity where Jesus offered up his life and was crucified on what we call Good Friday, and then amazingly, miraculously, powerfully resurrected, beat death to prove that he had indeed sacrificed successfully for our sins and the sins of the world. With that, I'll leave you and enjoy next couple of weeks. And if I don't get back to you before Easter, enjoy celebrating what Christ has done for us all. Until then, work in the light.